Right now on 13 Action News at 6, at least one person is dead and another is in custody after a crash in the Northeast Valley. It happened near Pecos and Stewart, and that's where we find 13 Action News reporter Austin Carter, and he's just gotten some new information. Austin, what are police saying?
That's right, Tom. Metro updating us on this fatal two-car crash. We know one driver is dead and another driver is in custody under suspicion of driving under the influence. And this is still a pretty big scene right now. I'm going to step out of the way and have my photographers zoom in on what we can see right now. You can see that red car there right near that light post there. We're told that is the victim's car. The driver in that vehicle was killed. And another vehicle just past that, we're told, is the suspect's vehicle. Now, we were told that suspect's vehicle was heading northbound around the curve too fast here on Pecos and crashed into the victim's car. That driver was pronounced dead after being rushed to the hospital. The suspect was arrested on scene. Metro believes not only speed being a factor in this crash, but also the fact that they believe the driver was in fact under the influence. Now, a few neighbors came up to me who live in this area and say that this really is a dangerous stretch of Pecos. I asked Metro about that, and they said drivers really need to be careful in their own neighborhoods and driving safely. Metro says this really boils down to being a community issue.
This is the second time this weekend we're out for a fatality, and our third time in the last 48 hours for a serious collision. We need the community to take ownership of it.
And again, that driver has been booked into the Clark County Detention Center. Metro could not tell us how long Pecos will be shut down, but right now it is closed between Sunrise and Stewart. So you're definitely going to want to avoid this area if you're traveling in this area this evening. Reporting live, Austin Carter, 13 Action News.
And a man is fighting for his life after being hit by a car. It happened just before 5 this morning near Flamingo and Pecos. Police tell us he walked across the street outside of a marked crosswalk. The driver of the car stayed on scene. The man was taken to the hospital and is in critical condition. Now to a 13 Action News update on that scare in Town Square last night. Metro arrests another suspect after false reports of an active shooter at GameWorks. A fight broke out between juveniles there last night. They say a juvenile pulled out a gun, but no shots were fired. Police arrested several other suspects, but have not released any information on any charges. New at 6, the U.S. Forest Service is battling a wildfire in the Trout Canyon area. That's just south of Mount Charleston. At least 20 acres have been burned. Officials believe a lightning strike started the blaze. The Bureau of Land Management and Clark County firefighters are assisting. We're working on getting more details. Well, monsoon season 2018 is here, and we're already seeing our first signs of it on Mount Charleston. You see there. Check it out. This is video posted on Twitter earlier showing the rain up on the mountain. Officials say be cautious of slick roads if you're headed up there this weekend. 13 First Alert meteorologist Dan Braun is keeping an eye on the forecast for us, and certainly a nice break for them. But what about the rest of us? We've been sweating it out the past couple days.
Yeah, we have, and you know what? I think we're going to for at least another afternoon here in Las Vegas. But yeah, that rain on the mountain's still falling right now. Take a look. Nothing excessively heavy, which is good news. We don't like to see that because of flooding concerns. But we got some nice downpours right now over the mountain, and right near that fire, they did see some rain earlier. Definitely some good news. Hopefully that helps some. Hey, a couple lightning strikes as well, and some of this rain trying to move into Summerlin at this time and down towards Rhodes Ranch, but I'm not sure if it's got enough juice to make it over the mountains. We are relatively dry over the valley still. Taking a wider view, you can see some showers if you're going to be hitting Interstate 15 into California. Watch out for some heavier rain there, and some heavy rain right now pushing into Kingman. So if you're driving to Phoenix tonight, you're probably going to get hit with some heavy rain as well. Now that's that picture up on the mountain. Look at that temperature with the rain. It is 56 degrees up in Lee Canyon right now with some blue skies out there, but some clouds as well. Current temperatures here in the city, it's hot. Today's high 108 degrees. We got another hot day ahead of us, but cooler temperatures with even better rain chances. I'll show you what that looks like coming up.
All right, thanks, Dan. And here in the valley, as we just mentioned, those summer monsoon storms are coming, so there are a couple good things to keep in mind. If you find yourself in a flash flood, try and find higher ground. Keep the kids away from the washes and never drive through deep water. It only takes a foot of water to sweep your car or truck off the road. And of course, remember that saying, turn around, don't drown.
Just like the sun is a part of the desert, we just don't think of the rain because it happens so infrequently. They happen very quickly and they can be very, very dangerous.
Good advice there. And the Springs Preserve has a flash flood exhibit where you can actually experience just how quickly it can flood right here in the valley. Now to the latest on the 12 boys and their soccer coach trapped in that cave in Thailand. New video is released showing the team playing just days before they entered the cave. Divers now under extreme pressure to rescue them, but they're fighting against dangerous conditions inside the cave, and one diver has unfortunately died. ABC's Maggie Rulli has more.
Thai authorities are calling it a war against the water. Divers working around the clock, trying to rescue the boys before heavy rains hit again. According to an internal U.S. government report obtained by ABC News, the mission to get all 12 boys and their soccer coach out of the cave could begin any hour now. Each of the boys will go on what's being called a buddy dive, essentially hauled by divers through tunnels, sometimes only as wide as manhole covers.
You can guarantee someone will have their hands on those boys every step of the way coming out of the caves.
Over the past several days, divers have been teaching the boys how to dive. Some are learning the basics of swimming for the very first time.
We try to set a plan that the best plan if we can bring them out and the risk is minimum. Maybe we try.
From above, authorities have drilled over 100 holes into the mountain, both to find an alternate route out for the boys and to create a second outflow of water in that 3-mile-long cave. As the world waits for their escape, we're finally hearing more from the boys trapped inside. In letters to their parents, the boys ask for fried chicken and barbecue pork. Others ask that they not get too much homework when they get out. 13-year-old Dom wrote, "I'm fine, but it's a little bit cold. Don't worry and don't forget my birthday." The kids' coach also writing to the parents, "And I promise I will take care of the kids. Thank you for your kind support, and I would like to say I'm really sorry to you all." Maggie Rulli, ABC News.
Hundreds of people protesting gun violence shut down a highway in Chicago. The northbound lanes of the Dan Ryan Expressway were closed to traffic for several hours. The demonstration was organized by a leader of a local church. The leader says he regularly holds a peace march on Friday nights, but said he wanted to do something to bring attention to gun violence in the city. He said he also wanted to focus on the need for better schools and employment opportunities. A memorial service was held today for one of the victims of the attack on the newspaper staff of the Capital Gazette. Hundreds gathered in Annapolis, Maryland to pay their respects to journalist Wendy Winters. Winters was one of 5 killed last week when a gunman opened fire inside the Gazette's office. Winters, a mother of 4, was honored by her children at that memorial. The Trump administration is asking for more time to reunite migrant families who were separated at the border. A federal court gave the government a strict timeline to locate the parents of as many as 3,000 children now in their care. The government must now provide a list of all the children under the age of 5 that it believes are in the class of children covered by the reunification order. The court is set to reconvene Monday morning. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo wrapped up 2 days of talks with senior North Korean officials today. He never met with Kim Jong-un, but he did sit down with some other top officials. ABC's Daria Albinger says the two sides had very different perceptions on how things went.
2 days of high-level talks, 2 very different takes on what happened.
Some places a great deal of progress, other places there's still more work to be done.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo saying his meetings with top North Korean government officials were productive and happened in good faith. But nearly as soon as Pompeo left, a North Korean official released a statement calling the talks regrettable. The unnamed official suggested talks had broken down, accusing Pompeo of unilaterally pressuring North Korea to abandon its nukes. Pompeo insists denuclearization is still the goal for both sides, but gave no specific timeline.
I'm not going to get into the details of our conversations, but we spent a good deal of time talking about each of those 2 things, and I think we made progress in every element of our discussion.
To date, North Korea appears to have kept its word on halting all nuclear and missile testing and invited international journalists to watch as they reportedly destroyed tunnels at this nuclear test site. But the country is yet to take concrete steps toward abandoning its nuclear weapons programs. Expert analysis of recent satellite imagery suggests they may even be expanding their programs. When asked about these images, Pompeo doubled down.
We talked about what the North Koreans are continuing to do and how it's the case we can get our arms around achieving what Chairman Kim and President Trump both agreed to, which was the complete denuclearization of North Korea.
According to reporters on the ground, the talks were filled with tension. At one point, Pompeo even corrected a North Korean official when he suggested that he may not have slept well because of the tenor of their talks. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
A scary moment for the driver when the passenger bus he's driving starts smoking. Caught on camera, the bus goes up in flames, catching several other vehicles on fire. Evel Knievel made that jump over 50 years ago. Now another daredevil looks to rewrite history. Several wildfires in 2 states are forcing hundreds of people to evacuate, and the heat wave isn't helping crews battling the blazes. And count on Chopper 13 to bring you breaking news fast and first. We'll be right back. Check out this video caught on camera. That's a bus engulfed in flames in Massachusetts. It happened this morning in a ferry parking lot on Cape Cod. The bus had just returned to the lot to pick up passengers when it caught fire. There were no passengers on board, and the driver was able to get out safely. More than a dozen vehicles also suffered fire damage. Firefighters still aren't sure what caused that bus to catch on fire. At least 5 people were hurt in the annual running of the bulls in Pamplona, Spain. A Red Cross spokesperson says they began taking people to the hospital just minutes after the race began. Rain before the race also left those narrow cobblestone streets more slippery than usual. Many runners could be seen being trampled while corralling the massive animals into the city's bull ring. Looking ahead now, a daredevil is picking up where Evel Knievel left off. His legacy always connected to Las Vegas after this attempt to jump over the fountains at Caesar's Palace. That stunt nearly cost him his life. As 13 Action News reporter Parker Collins tells us, motocross star Travis Pastrana will try the huge death-defying jump tomorrow.
This is where the jump at Caesar's Palace will end. You can see they've already started building out this landing ramp. They've got the padding right here, but this isn't the only stunt happening Sunday. When Knievel tried jumping the fountains in the 60s, he crashed and ended up in a coma for 29 days, breaking dozens of bones. The video can be hard to watch. Apparently, X Games gold medalist Travis Pastrana is unfazed. He aims to beat not 1, but 3 of Knievel's most infamous jumps in 3 hours. Besides the fountains at Caesar's Palace, this includes jumping the length of more than 52 crushed cars and 16 Greyhound buses directly behind Planet Hollywood, Paris, and Bally's. Of course, everyone is talking about the finale at Caesar's Palace. Pastrana has made a name for himself with several wild stunts, but that doesn't mean he doesn't get nervous.
I'm excited, and I don't know, 98% scared and 2% excited, or 98% excited and 2% scared. It's kind of a toss-up.
The event is free and open to everyone. You don't even need a ticket. If you want to come to this jump at Caesars, you can start showing up at 6 Sunday night. Parker Collins, 13 Action News.
The world's largest Chevron gas station is now open. It's called Terrible's Roadhouse, and it's near the Nevada-California border, right near Jean. The 50,000 square foot center features a convenience store, 96 fuel pumps, and 60 restrooms. There will also be a White Castle, an arcade, 3 carousel ride, and a 4,000 square foot candy store. Pretty cool. All right, well, here out west, firefighters battle a massive wildfire that erupted near San Diego. On top of that, they're dealing with tough weather conditions. ABC's Will Carr shows homes are being evacuated and 1 firefighter has already been hurt.
The West on fire. The latest exploding overnight near Santa Barbara, California. The holiday fire triggering mandatory evacuations for up to 2,500 people. Over 100 firefighters and 30 fire engines descending on the scene. 20 homes and buildings destroyed, turning this neighborhood into a terrifying inferno. Residents ripped from their beds with plumes of smoke filling the air. Police scrambling to clear the area and firefighters snaking their trucks up the neighborhood's tight canyon roads. The fire consuming home after home, still raging out of control. In Arizona, this dairy farm's hay bales ablaze, burning long into the night even after 120 firefighters rushed to the scene. The West fire sparking just outside of San Diego, devouring hundreds of acres in just a few hours. The fire torching homes, incinerating cars, creating a post-apocalyptic landscape, flames pushing dangerously close to an interstate while knocking out power for thousands as temperatures jumped higher than 110 degrees. Firefighters braving the heat, racing into those neighborhoods through thick smoke, battling the fire, jumping from one home to the next. 1 firefighter injured trying to contain the inferno. Some residents fleeing to safety, others ignoring evacuation orders.
Police wouldn't let me get it close, but I kind of hiked through some backyards and whatnot because I'm just going to stay and try and defend the house.
In Northern California, another fire turning deadly. A body found in a home burned to the ground. And just east of Los Angeles, helicopters and planes swooping in to smother a fire that started when a truck burst into flames on a freeway.
Now, 13 first alert weather.
Some parts of Southern California yesterday were 120 degrees. That's around the LA area. That's how hot it was there. So they've been warmer than we have ever been. And that's not usual for them. That's how bad that fire is out there that just spreads so easily with temperatures like that. Taking a look at Desert Doppler, you can see nothing across the city, but we do have some rain over the mountain trying to spill into Summerlin over Red Rock right now. It's falling apart. You might see a sprinkle or two because of some winds pushing it over you, but that's it. We're not probably going to see any rainfall with that, but there's still a slight chance we could see something. Heavier rain right now back across Arizona, pushing right through Kingman. This line of storms actually pretty impressive, putting out some stronger winds. So if you're along the lake, you're going to be out there, you might see some gusts from that. Take a look at the region though. Hey, you know what? That monsoon kicked in. High pressure just kind of spinning all that monsoon moisture our way. So we're going to keep that chance of rain in the forecast over the next couple of afternoons. Futurecast shows you that by tomorrow, I think we're going to be dry in the morning, maybe a mountain shower here or there. You can see by Sunday, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, there's not a lot going on. It's going to be a slow day still tomorrow. That rain probably going to stay back in Arizona, but some mountain thunderstorms very possible. Monday, things get a little bit more interesting. We get a little bit more moisture to work with, instability around. We could actually get a few thunderstorms in all areas. Take a look at your moisture content. Not too bad. We're in the blues. That's okay. We like to see greens to really get the heavier rain. And look what happens by Tuesday morning. That green just kind of rides up to Colorado, right into southern Nevada, and it kind of parks there for the next couple of days after. So we're going to see that chance of rain Monday through Wednesday elevated compared to this weekend and compared to the end of next week. But still, that monsoon starting off pretty strong and not really going anywhere over the next several days. Blue skies out there right now. We got some clouds out there as well. You can see that cloud line down on the surface there, but looking very nice. Temperature is very warm. 106 in Las Vegas right now, 105 out in Henderson, 104 Pahrump. All temperatures today above the average. We did hit 109 today. Whew. Little warm out there for your Saturday. 31 days since we started the Raising Cane's donating to Make-A-Wish. That's $3,100 so far this year. Good to see that. Tomorrow temperature is about the same as today, and you can see today's highs not great, especially with that elevated humidity, that 109. Not what we're used to. 25% humidity with that. A little sticky for us desert folks. Now pollen counts very low, and they're going to stay there the next several days. We're in that time of year. Really got to get a lot of rain and cooler temperatures for those to go up. Tonight, temperatures into the 80s, a little bit cooler than this morning's 93 degrees. Yeah, that's how warm it was this morning. Didn't drop below that in Las Vegas. Tomorrow's highs 107, 106 Anthem, 107 was at McCarran, and 105 expected on Monday, and that's when our storm chances pick up just a little bit. I'd say 30% chance of rain here in the valley Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Temperatures looking nice. Average high 104. We're going to be below that. 101 by Tuesday, 100 Wednesday, Thursday. We could even stay in the 90s a couple days this week, especially if we get those thunderstorms to develop. Overnight lows, mild, but a little bit cooler, back in the mid-80s.
Good news. We need that break. Thanks, Dan. Well, most of us use the apps on our smartphone to keep track of our lives, but what are the developers doing with all of that personal information we give out? Well, apps aren't listening in on your conversations, but they definitely are watching you. We'll have that story. To keep track of intimate or personal health issues, some people use apps on their phones to keep track. But Scripps reporter Jace Larson found out the apps could sell that private information, and you might not even know it.
If you're like a lot of us, it sure seems like your cell phone is somehow secretly listening.
Do you think your devices are listening to you?
Absolutely not.
I believe so.
I mean, they can if they want to. Ever had like any ads pop up and you're like, oh my gosh, I was just talking about that, and then it showed up?
Yeah.
Specific brand of cat litter we use.
Yeah.
Hair stuff, going bald, thinning hair.
It certainly seems creepy when you're just talking to somebody about that vacation to Hawaii you want to plan, and then all of a sudden you see an ad for it on Facebook.
Privacy and data researcher Dave Chofness teaches at Northeastern University, and he and his students tested 17,000 Android apps to see if any of them were secretly listening or recording you. Now, don't scoff at this. His scientific testing found not a single one of the apps secretly turned on the microphone or started recording without permission.
There is some bad news, which is that we found something we weren't even looking for, and that is that we found that apps can actually record everything you do on the screen and then either send it to their own servers or send it to other companies' servers.
Chofna says this type of thing is allowed. Developers use it to troubleshoot when your app crashes, for example, but you can imagine the possibilities. So if these apps aren't listening to you, well then how come when I talk to my friends about an upcoming vacation, do I then see ads for vacations on my Facebook feed?
And I think that what users are probably seeing is just a coincidence, combined with the fact that Facebook can track you not only when you're using the app, they can see what you like, they can see what images you linger on, but also when you're visiting other websites.
Anytime there's a Facebook like button on a page that you're visiting, Facebook knows you've been there, Chofna says.
Honestly, if you're talking about taking that trip to Hawaii, you've probably been visiting some websites along those lines.
Chofna's study didn't test every single app, and I know, some of you will still be skeptical.
I don't believe it.
I'm Jace Larson reporting.
Cell phone companies are launching a new way to stop robocalls, and you don't have to pay. The technology can basically tell if that call is coming from a real person. It's like those blue verified check marks you see on Facebook and Twitter. If it might be a scam, it'll say it. AT&T and Verizon hope to use it by the end of this year, and all 4 major cell carriers plan to have it by 2019. It's supposed to make a big dent in the neighbor scam. That's where scammers make the number look similar to yours to trick you into answering. Don't answer, but if you do, hang up. And don't say anything either. The scammers can record part of your words to make it sound like you agreed to more calls. And of course, never give the caller your credit card information either. At least $9 billion are lost to phone fraud every year. That's a lot. Good advice there. All right, well, Dan has another look at your forecast, but right now, here's a live look outside the valley. You're watching 13 Action News, where you get breaking news fast and first. All right, well, here's tonight's primetime lineup on Channel 13 at 8 o'clock, America's Funniest Home Videos. At 9, Truth and Lies, Waco. Then keep it right here for 13 Action News, live at 11. Well, a Dairy Queen in Brownsville, Tennessee got an unexpected customer. It was a small otter who followed a woman into the store on Monday. Check that out. Wildlife officials say he just wandered a little bit too far into a river, so the little fella stopped by the Dairy Queen.
It was hot, and he enjoyed that, and we fed him at that time, and he ate. He was really hungry. He was fine and in great health, and he enjoyed some grilled chicken, and he had a Heath Blizzard.
Nice little meal there. The staff actually named the otter Blizzard. The fun came to an end, though, when a game warden took him to a nearby creek and he swam away.
That is just so cute. He just was in there just chilling, like he belonged there.
Yeah.
It was cool. All right, well, he would love it here then because it's too hot, 107 for your Sunday, and that could bring a few isolated thunderstorms to the valley. Not a great chance tomorrow. Most of the rain probably staying in the mountains and back in Arizona. As we go into the week, our rain chances actually pick up a little bit Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and temperatures dropping down. We're talking 100 for a high by Wednesday. Hey, you know what? When you live here, we'll take that. A little bit more humid, though, and overnight lows are going to be in the 80s, so not terrible.
I never thought I'd be looking forward to 100, though.
I think a lot of people see this forecast and actually are like, oh, that's actually nice.
This is nice, yeah. All right, well, we'll take it. All right, well, that's our news for right now. Stay with us for Judge Judy coming up next. We're always on at ktnv.com. We'll see you back here at 11. Thanks for watching.